Hi, Alan ZJ5KI. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I'm in one of my favorite spots here. You could tell the church out front. I made it out to Loomis safe and everything. The rain stopped pretty much, which was kind of disappointing. I love the rain, you know. Hello, Marion. Hi, Marion. Alan says, how are you, Matt? I am well, my friend. I'm a little bit hungry. I just stopped at the quick stop and got a chicken leg, some ranch, and a Dr. Pepper. Saw my friend Stephanie down there. She's really cool. She's been my friend for like the longest time since I moved in here to Loomis many years ago. I think like 5 years ago. And yeah, so it's always nice to get to talk to her. We were just BSing about like the weather and stuff, you know. Jim Rat, long time. How you doing, bro? Jeff, hi, Jeff. Oh, it's a nice rig. Man, old, like, I don't know, that could have been like 60s model Chevy, red. Man, that was nice looking. I can tell, too, I think he's got a 350 in there, you know, because like, you can hear that sound. That's what my pickup truck has. So, yeah, I got two, because it's late in the day, I got two chicken legs for the price of one. And so I'm going to take the second one to my buddy Aaron when I get out to his place. He lives right there in Loomis, so that's totally cool. That's a nice car, too. Dang. I get a kick out of... Oh, son of a... Dropping ranch all over the seat. This thing is such a mess. I got to get it cleaned up one of these days. I've been working on it. Y'all guys know I work on it, but it's still... Oh, great. And now I got red dye all over the seat from the glove that I'm using as a napkin. That's some real world problems right there, guys. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I'm going to take Aaron the second chicken leg there. Hey, Michigan Tim, how you doing, brother? Benjamin in the house. Cicely, how you doing, Cicely? Beware the full moon. All the weirdos are out. I know, that's why I'm out right now. I am drawn by the full moon to go out and do crazy stuff. But I'm at an age now, also, where I realize that it helps me chill a little bit. Plus, I like the craziness, to tell you the truth. I really feel that right now in my life, I don't know. There's this connection to existence I find when things get more difficult for some reason. I've always been this guy. Like, for instance, when the boat would sink and it's dark and it's stormy outside, there's this panic that sets in and everybody feels it. Oh yeah. And then something goes wrong and it needs to be taken care of. And there's those moments where it's fight, flight, or freeze, right? And a lot of people lock up in those moments and they'll panic and everything. Me, whenever the boat was sinking, though, and like, if you talk to my family and they gave you an honest answer, because that's pretty much why they kept me around. I was useful in like those kind of situations. There's something about me where in the beginning I'll sit there and I'll like panic a little bit, right? But then when the boat is sinking, when somebody needs to do something about it, there's a flip in my brain where I just turn really calm and cool, and I'm capable of doing the things that need to be done. Some of the coolest times were like, boat was sinking once and we lost the hydraulics and everything. I had to go down and figure out how to fix it quick. And yeah, the answer is not always easy, but it was always, you know, there's an answer there. I just find that so many people, they lock up in that final moment, right? And so like when life gets crazy for me, I think that it's a lot like that moment in the dark on the water where something in my soul just calms. And I find this area of resolve. It's the reason I've survived as long as I have, honestly. It's what I use when I'm out there in the boonies. And because y'all guys know, one of my best moves when life goes bad on me, right? I just go back to the forest because I know how to do it, right? Now this time of year, screw that. I am going to do things here and now and make everything work. You know, but that's the thing though. The craziness, to me, I embrace it and I love it. It's a moment where I can connect to my existence in ways that I find that I can't any other time. So like, I'm just having a really good time. Cabbage juice, not even on a dare. Oh, really? Yeah, no, I'd do it. You ask anybody, I'll drink anything. Or used to, I would. You ever try, what is that stuff? Because I've always had like my tummy is made out of cast iron, but still, it's like sometimes I get tummy aches and stuff. Like here recently has been kind of bad. I think I'm drinking too much coffee. A little bit worried about it. I think it's just digestive stuff. But what is that stuff called? Aloe vera, you know, like you put it on burns. It's real goopy, slimy. When I was down in Texas, I was having some tummy issues and I started drinking aloe vera juice. That stuff really works, but it takes like, you've got to really be able to do it. Yeah, it is not easy to drink that stuff. And yeah. Miggle Rod, how you doing, Rod? Says hi. Hey, Rod. Wild Midge. Oh, is this Midge? Hey, Midge. Thank you. She's reminding everybody, hit the like button. Hopefully I'll be able to get you out of YouTube jail real soon, my friend. That's what I'm doing out here right now. I'm gonna hang out with my buddy and work on my computer, get that all set up and everything. See, when I'm at Jamie's, I'd rather hang out with her or her girls than do anything else, honestly. And so I don't get much done. That's a good reason to be able to flip and flop between like friends' places right now. That, and it gives me, damn, man, who let all the cars loose? It's like a train of 12 out there. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I'd rather hang out with Jamie or one of her girls or something instead of actually work on my stuff. So it's cool because I can chill with Aaron and all, but then I can still like just concentrate on my stuff. He'll like turn on some music or a ball game, or he plays his video game, right? He was in the top 500 in Call of Duty. So it's a game where like millions of people play it, and he had actually reached into the top 500 player slot. And I think that is like amazing. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but the poor guy, he got his account hacked. And I mean, what kind of a-hole would do that to a guy, right? And yeah, so he's starting back off, but I got a chance to watch him play. The dude is good. He is like really, really good. I used to play a lot back in the day. There's one game, I got a VR system not long ago, like 3 years ago. I played it through winter, but being an addict and all, I can get easily addicted to almost anything, right? And so that was like really pulling me in, and I had to focus on YouTube. So I kind of stopped and everything, but it was a cool game because it was kind of Call of Duty-ish. And yeah, I was pretty good at that. I'm not bad at Call of Duty either. I'm one of those guys, like I prefer Red Dead Redemption, which anybody that doesn't know, it's a cowboy game. It's total Josie Wells. It's every cowboy movie you've ever seen all thrown in one. Well, I'm the kind of guy like where a lot of people, they hit and run and do a lot of different stuff like that. I kind of have that Josie Wells, like William Money mentality when I'm in like a first person shooter or something, where like I just rock and roll, right? And one of the best ones I ever did, it was in the cowboy game. I was in a post office locked in, and they were like, I never fight with a team. I never have teammates. It's always just me kind of against teams. And just like, it was so cool. I was locked into this post office, and there were 3-4 guys outside, had the place surrounded, and I heard one of them come over the radio, and they go, does anybody have any dynamite, right? And I knew I was screwed then. I'm like, all right. So the guy walks out front of the door, and he's got a stick of dynamite in his hand, and he throws it, right? And I walked right straight out in front of like the 4 of them, and I know it's just a video game, but it was freaking cool, right? And I hit the weird odds, too. I'm a very lucky individual, and most of the time. And yeah, the dynamite went right over my head. I walked out, bang, 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 right? I dropped all 4 of them before the dynamite blew up behind me. And that's just kind of like my approach. A lot of times it goes back to like I was saying about the water. And those moments, right? Where it's like, just do. You just got to do, right? Think about it. And so it's split second reaction kind of stuff, you know? Yeah. So I titled this video, what's this? Hi, Ari. good to see you. It says, hey man, hey, good to see you tonight. How are you doing, bud? Carl, hey Carl, good to see you in here, brother. I always thought Bear would have been a good wrestler or MMA fighter, LOL. I agree, bro. I think he would have been really good. Bear is kind of like me. He's a street fighter because we're all a little bit like shorter, right? But we're stocky and I got good endurance and very fast, right? Bear's faster than I am. I'll tell you that. It's like growing up my whole life, it was like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, right? But Bear and I were like in the ranking. And growing up in isolation and all, we idolized like the quick draw and everything, right? So we were always like Nerf guns, quick draw and junk, right? But no, Bear would have been an awesome like boxer or MMA fighter for sure, because the kid is really fast, right? And he can take a punch. I'll tell you, well, all the brown boys can take a punch, right? But yeah, no, I'm so glad that he's doing well. To tell you the truth, he is like my favorite brother. Don't tell the rest of them, right? But yeah, I'm just so glad that he's doing well. Lexington 420, cool name, Lexington. How you doing, brother? Hey, Matt. RBR2 is an awesome game. One of the best stories, and the cinematic views are crazy awesome. Dude, Lex, that is awesome, bro. What's it called? RBR2. I have to check that out. I figure maybe next year I can be stable enough that I'll be able to like play games and stuff again, you know? If I could get some better freaking equipment, and I'm not griping, all right? But it's like Michelangelo. Instead of sculpting with marble, sculpting with cement, right? And yes, I know there's probably a lot of y'all guys that know I got that from the movie Toy Soldiers. Yes. But yeah, I sculpt really well with cement right now. I'd like to get my hands on some marble. If I could get some marble, I think that we could really advance things. My plan is that within 1 year, from now, like maybe from last month, to be able to be on my feet. I don't need to own a home. I don't need to own property or anything. What I need is to be able to just rent a small 1-bedroom apartment. If I could do that, have a reliable Wi-Fi signal and electricity, I think that we could really step up the game here. Maybe grow to the channel to a point where we can actually start helping people more. It was so nice to see Skate Girl today. I don't know if she watches my stuff. If she does, if you are out there, I'm so glad that you're still leaning into the wind and you're still doing it. You know, life isn't easy, but you give me also, like some of my friends, you also give me that drive for me to be better too, through your example. You know how it is, right, guys? So I titled this video, Golden-Eyed Eagle, for the movie Goldeneye, right? Which Jamie and I were talking about. Like, I'm not a big Pierce Brosnan guy, but his James Bond in Goldeneye was awesome. And then also so Jamie, what was it? Crap, like maybe 6-8 months ago, we were coming down from the grade back here down Totes Cooley Road that leads out to the freeway out here, highway. And she spotted there were a couple of eagles eating something dead in the middle of one of these farmlands, right? And they were huge. We thought there was, because there was one bald eagle and then there were two like what looked like fledglings. But the fledglings were like 3 times the size of the grown bald eagle, right? Which is that's not normal. So Jamie started looking into it. She got like a picture or something and she started researching. What I love about her is that she researches, right? She's like me. When she's curious, she finds out. She discovered that they could have either been golden eagles, or since they were with a bald eagle, they could be a hybrid, because bald eagles and golden eagles have actually started breeding together, generating hybrids that are actually bigger than both. So those are Jamie's golden eagles, is what I like to call them. And on the way out here, I passed the same spot, the same area, and there were 2 of them flying around, and they were huge. I mean, I am not kidding. Their wingspan was wider, much wider, like much wider than the hood of my car, right? And it's not a small car either. You know, they used to call these things a boat. But it was so cool to see that, because I was just sitting there thinking about like how I'm gonna miss her tonight and everything. Because Jamie is an important part of my life. And we've been through a lot of stuff together. We're a lot alike and all, you know. And so when I hang up here with y'all guys, I'm going to call her. I'm going to tell her good night, say good night to the girls for me. And then just focus on work, basically. You know, I got to get that freaking laptop where I can produce some kind of show for y'all guys. But yeah, it was just so cool to see those things. It really was. Had a deer trying to smoke itself, so it jumped out in front of my car about 12 feet in front of me. It wasn't any like James Bond crap, but I did a little whoop whoop to get around it, right? Nowadays, I think I should just slam on my brakes, honestly, because this thing, it was trying to go this way, but then it stopped, like as I was doing the zup zup, and it kind of acted like it wanted to go back the other way. And so I think from here on out, I am just going to start slamming on my brakes. Which I need to get repaired. My brake light came on because I knew I only had about 50% left on the brakes here, which they're better than anything I've ever run. Y'all guys know I once had a Ford Econoline van that my dad replaced the brake pads with 2x4s. And yeah, that does not slow down very quickly. But I do need to get new brakes for this thing because the light came on, well, a couple days ago. Well, damn, longer than that. I guess maybe last month, honestly. But yeah, good times. Hey, Paul Rivers, how are you doing? Is Aaron taking off? Bye, Aaron. Glad that you were here. I got a stand. You know what? I like most everybody. There are weird people in this world. And I know I'm one to talk, right? My problem is I notice things that other people don't notice a lot of times. It just comes from being on that show for so long. And then getting in with so many security details and stuff. Because like being on the show, you do have to be careful. Like one time I was, you know, there's crazy people. We've all seen the movie Misery, right? Stephen King and everything. I'm your biggest fan. Yeah, so from coming from the woods and everything where you gotta look out for like four-legged predators, it was pretty easy for me to adapt to the world of the two-legged predator, but I don't want to make that what this show is about. That's, you know, it's just an afterthought. The Creator. Thank you, Creator. I am so glad that you're here. Thank you so much, Creator. Doing $2 to support the mission, guys. Says, Toy Soldiers was my favorite movie as a kid. P.S. Hi. Hi, Creator. I know, wasn't it so good? I actually repeat that line sometimes that Tommy Lee Jones tells the girl. He's like, it's all right to be afraid. You'd have to be crazy not to be afraid, right? But the way he delivers the line is like he's not afraid at all and stuff. And I say that sometimes. I know that y'all guys have heard me say it. But let me get you a heart and a light, Creator. It was one of my favorite movies too. Oh, what's this? Oh, the Creator dropped in $2 more. Bought a comment. If the brake light came on, you need brake fluid. No crap. Really? Okay, that is going to be a lot cheaper than brake pads, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will get brake fluid at the quick stop first thing tomorrow and make sure it works. It says ABS. I'm assuming that means anti-lock brakes. I should have Googled it, but you know, life is not easy. And that is a total excuse. I mean, it takes 3 seconds to Google something. I suppose, like, if it's still working, don't worry about it as much when so much else is falling apart, right? It was so cool. I went to the dollar store before I came out here. I got some lunch meat, some pop and stuff. And one of the ladies in front of me, But she goes, Matt, I love your inspirational content. And I'm like, man, thank you. You know, and it just felt good because I don't feel like I've been very inspirational here recently. You know, but I guess, however, yeah, I guess it's just leaning into the unknown and taking things on the chin and stuff, you know, or for me, just trying to share through it or something, you know, I don't know. It was a great slap on the back and it was really nice. I got me some coffee at the Java Junkie also. They are really cool up there. Yeah, this girl, the young woman who fixed it for me was really nice. We talked about the rain and stuff. It just feels good to have nice interactions with people, you know, guys? Blaze Trip. All right, get talking to somebody else. I like your name, Blaze Trip. That is pretty cool. It makes me think of a flamethrower. I have always, like since I was a kid, wanted to have a flamethrower. That was one of my favorite parts about the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If y'all guys haven't seen it, shame on you. No, I'm joking. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a good movie. It's Quentin Tarantino. Y'all guys know I am a huge Tarantino fan. If you don't count Westerns, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my favorite movie ever made. Tarantino hits all the points. And it's about a subject matter that I like. So the subject matter is during the Manson family thing, right? And so Tarantino had this idea in his head because he didn't like that either, right? A lot of us growing up as kids knew about that and stuff. That's like a big deal to us, right? Because you know what? Pick on somebody your own size, you know. So Quentin Tarantino, he wrote this script, and basically it is what would happen if instead of picking on unarmed, defenseless people, they had decided to pick on a John Wayne type guy. And yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio plays the John Wayne dude really well. Brad Pitt's like his stuntman backup dude and everything. And the whole movie is art. It lines out this really great realistic world. And then in the last like 10 minutes is when you get the real heart of the story. And I'm not even kidding. The first time I saw it in theater, during the last 10 minutes, I laughed like, yeah. And everybody in the theater, because like it's not a funny scene. Kind of like they were looking, right? And yeah, but I thought it was great. Best movie ever. Go ahead and watch it. Another good one is Django Unchained, also by Quentin Tarantino. What I love about that movie, and I guess bus driver has waved at me for 5 years. She is so nice, and I don't even know her name. But whenever we see her, we wave, and she's just like, really brings me up. I don't know why. But Django Unchained is a revenge film, basically. Quentin also didn't like the whole, like, American slavery time and stuff like that and all. And so he wrote the story of a black man who basically goes out and he fights against impossible odds. And it's a great movie. Just really good. Inglourious Bastards. That's awesome too. Why am I just spitting out some of my favorite movies? I don't know. It's World War II though. Another Brad Pitt movie. I didn't like him as much when he was young, but I like him a little bit more with some age on him, right? Because he's a good actor. What's this? MRA says, I didn't like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but everything else Tarantino was sick. Right on, you know, and that is your taste, you know. It is a slower movie. It's not a mob movie kind of thing like most of his and everything. So I kind of agree with you. Yeah, but it is one of my favorites still. Oh, and the point of it was the John Wayne type character had a flamethrower anyway, and so like in the end he gets to use it. And yeah, I have always wanted a flamethrower. I think I was telling Blaze about that because her name reminded me of a flamethrower. I'm glad you are doing okay, Matt says. Lossitim. Thank you, Lossitim. Yes, I'm doing all right. I'm just concentrating on the moment, you know. And like I talk about a lot here recently, I am really good at starting over from ground zero. It's just something that I'm good at, and anything that we do that is difficult, and if we do it long enough, we begin to enjoy it. And so for me, where it comes with a little bit of disappointment, and knowing the difficulty of the struggle to get back on top. Once that little bit is over, I get right into the moment and I kind of really enjoy myself. Like I was saying when I started this, I feel that sometimes the debacles of life, the difficulties, the everything makes it easier to feel like I'm in the right place at the right time. It justifies most of my life in some odd way. And I just become very calm, and it just gives me more faith for the future. That's why I try and share it with y'all guys, I think. Because it wasn't always like that. I was one of those run around screaming, we're all going to die kind of guys, you know, for a little while. Blackened 420 is his and only his business if he's sober anyway. Man, thank you, Blackened. Appreciate you. Way to stand up, brother. Yeah. Michael says sober. Yep. J0 says, did you ever see Troy? Loved Troy. Awesome movie. Yeah, J0. So let me answer them first. Yes, I am still living my life in sobriety. I have had a couple slips over the past little while. Had 4 years clean time. I am not going to allow the loss of the days to affect me in ways that makes me go backwards in my heart and my soul and my mind. You know what I mean? I try and be honest about that and everything, so that helps other people who have had long-term sobriety not destroy their life over destroying a day, right? Hello. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, we lose our day. We lose our days. We do not lose our experience. And that's what I try and focus on. I don't want to get long-winded about it. But so many people I know have had 4, 5, 7 years, had a bad night, woke up the next day, and they decided to crawl back into the bottle or the pipe or whatever else it was for a good long time before realizing it wasn't going to work again and getting out of it. Me, I wake up the next day and I move forward. And I tell y'all guys about it. So that if that shit happens to you, right, I own it. I did it myself. I did it on purpose. You know what I mean? But if that shit does happen to you and you're there too, you don't have to drag your life back into that hell. And I try and demonstrate that here on my channel, you know? So J0, did you ever see Troy? Loved Troy, man. I've been in a real, so I'm connecting with the cowboys and the gunslingers and all here recently in my heart and soul, and also the ancient warriors. So a large part of it for me has been kind of like connecting. That's some good looking rigs. Shit, what was that? Pardon my language. That last one looked like a new built Peterbilt to me. Damn, that was nice. I'm a big truck guy. Never really drove or anything, but I grew up in the logging communities and stuff. Love a Peterbilt. That was a good looking truck. But anyway, yeah, I've been connecting a lot to like the ancient warriors, the ones that fought with nothing but sword and spear, right? And somehow they had it together. That like life is temporary anyway, and bravery and honor and all that stuff. And so I've been like into the 300, you know, and everything, Sparta and all, and then also Troy because of Achilles, right? And yeah, I was actually watching a couple shorts today about it and everything. The part where he goes up against the big dude, remember? The king's like, well, why don't we just put your best warrior against my best warrior, right? And this like 8-foot tall dude walks out. And that's how I feel in life. It's those things that as a smaller dude, and like I said, I'm not tiny. I'm just like not 6 foot, right? But you can't tell me I'm not. I feel like I'm 8 feet tall most of the time, and most of the people I know do too. But anyway, I love that part where like he just runs at him, dodges the spear, stabs him in the shoulder, and it's over. And yeah, because so many people, they get into the octagon mentality, right, in life, and we ain't in no octagon. This is the street, baby, right? And those guys, they were street all the way. And so yeah, I've watched Troy a lot, and it's such a good movie. What I like too are just like, I guess, the artistic performance of it and how factual they keep things. There are a couple YouTube channels that I follow here. I can't stand the names of them, but what they do is they'll be like sword and shield experts or ancient battle experts and stuff, and they go in and they rate movies on how authentic they are and everything. And from what I've heard, the movie Troy was highly authentic as far as like the army, the army sizes, the shields, the armor, the swords, etc. Pardon my language. I also love prehistory. Let me get this done real quick and I'll talk about that. Remind me about spears. Linda Heckman, thank you, Linda. Linda is supporting the mission, guys. Bought an emoji for $10. It's a person jumping up. It looks like they must be jumping on a trampoline because they're getting some good hang time there. Jumping up and waving, and it says, yippee. Yes, it says yippee. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for your support and your encouragement, my friend. I really appreciate it. It's people like you and everybody else here through your support that has made this possible, especially during this hard time that myself and the channel has been going through. Because of y'all guys, and I'm not just talking about the donations. The donations have really, really helped. But everything else that y'all guys have done is actually making the channel bigger than it was when the rain took my laptop. I don't know how that's happening. I think it's because you're like hyping the video and there's so much interest here and y'all guys are talking to each other so much and hitting that like button and everything. So like, that's why I say this is yours. Right. I know one person was like, hey, if this is mine, send me a 20. And damn, you know, I should have got her address. Yeah. But anyway, it's y'all guys. And that's why I guard this so fiercely, you know. The creator, appreciate you, creator. Creator dropped in $5 for the mission, guys. Bought a comment. Let me get you a heart and a like, guys. Let's give creator a like if you would. Show our support. Creator says, you should read or listen to Chos, C-H-A-O-S, Charles Manson, the CIA and the secret history of the 60s. It's a crazy book, and this proves Helter Skelter. Yeah, okay. I will check that out. Back in the day, I studied a lot of that kind of stuff a lot, especially when I got down into the Los Angeles area and found myself living in Hollywood for a little while and stuff. I will most certainly check that out, my friend. Thank you, creator. Let's see. Jason says, what happened to Max? Max is doing fine, Jason. I've got Max parked at my buddy Aaron's place. I've still got a little slip in the transmission, but my buddy, the mechanic in Orville, has a brand new transmission and motor. I'm trying to find the money to purchase. I really wished that I could not long ago. Plus, I'll also put it in. But he's doing all right. I got to finish this food while we talk, guys. I'm starving. So just give me one moment. Here, why don't you look at the church? This spot reminds me, actually, my whole situation in Loomis, because as you know, I'm doing the whole gunslinger cowboy thing. It reminds me of my version of the safe place to run. You know, where it's like the locals know me, the locals like me. You know, I've got my places. I know when things are out of order or when they're in order. Not only do I have something stable to put my back against, I also can put my back against the forest, you know. And y'all guys know that if I have to cut and run, I always go to the forest. And all of this is just metaphor, you know, except for the forest part. Because, yeah, when things get hard, you find me with a whole bunch of soup up there underneath the tarp where hardly anybody else could survive. I'm not saying there aren't people more hardcore than me. There are, and I've known them. I am just saying that if it was a competition, I would be on the boards. I don't know where I would be on the boards, but I would definitely be on the boards. And that's why I like having the forest, you know. Plus, here in America, you can go pretty much to any forest out here and live for a little while, and that's acceptable. So that's pretty cool. With this church right here, I don't know. When I see it, I feel kind of like I'm home. I feel like I've made it to a safe spot, you know. Oh, pardon me. Nothing burps like chicken, right? Blackened. I wish I was a mod. They would be gone fast. Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Nami Beery. Hi, my friend Nami. I hope you're well. Kennedy Choo. Bro, you need to be in movies. Thanks, my friend. I'm going to be in my own movies one of these days. I've written a couple. They're concept right now. I haven't put them to paper yet, but I have done scenes and stuff in my head. That's one thing about the way that I film my show and everything. So there's a guy who was a producer of mine, right? I forget which season it was. I think it was like season 5 or 6. He and I got along really well because we loved the art, but we also loved what other people did with it. So instead of just copying, and this is one reason that ABP was so big, instead of just copying the format that most reality shows use, we would also watch movies and stuff that we enjoyed, and then we'd talk about them during lunchtime, and then we would plan little scenes that we would do, right? We were like, well, next we've got like the generator rebuild or something like that, right? And then we'd talk about where it was going to be done, and then we'd be like, well, you know, you remember that movie, blah, blah, blah? And I'm yes. And he's like, what if? And I'm like, yes, right? Or I'd come up to him and I'm like, dude, all right, you remember such and such. And he's like, I'm way ahead of you. All right, let's do it. Right. And it didn't always work. But lots of times it did. And we had one hell of a time doing it too. And our shooters, our camera techs were so good because they were the same way as soon as they heard this. Right. And we had built ABP kind of on that, right, on following the format of a reality show. And yet at the same time, adding a little bit of cinema to it. Right. So we'd go up to talk to like our shooters and stuff. And they'd be like, I see where you're going with this. Let's do it. And man, we had the best time. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I've adapted a lot of cinema stuff to the way that I shoot here on the channel, because when I started doing this, I had to have, so I shoot from a 3-camera perspective, basically. And when you're shooting a reality show, you can do it with 1 camera, but it's best to have 2 because you can get different angles at the same time. A 3-camera setup is really the best because then it's like when in the edit, you can put the person in the room basically, or in the situation through the different camera angles of edit. So when I started doing this out here on YouTube, I had to figure out how to shoot a 3-person camera show with just myself, right? Repoing the camera and yet doing it in a way where I'm not breaking my character, because like, it's not like I'm filming myself. I just know where to move the camera quickly as I'm doing something. And so it came together. Since then, I've developed a lot more cinematic motions and stuff to the camera. It's like I've got some trademarks and stuff, and that's what I want to do in building or making a movie one of these days. I've got a couple different ideas. One of them is post-apocalyptic. The other is a crime drama. What's the other one? Well, I've got a cartoon that I want to work on, but I would need animators and stuff for that. But yeah, one of these days I might do movies. I might do like my own independent movies. Would be really cool. I'm really into the crime one. I think that would be awesome. And then some kind of sci-fi would be neat, like an invasion story or something, I think, kind of like Body Snatcher or something. Yeah. But mine, I'm going to have to follow like the greats that I enjoy. Instead of just having a story, I need the story to be able to reflect the different facets of life and existence, right? That's what I enjoyed so much about The Unforgiven. Because we've got this real thing here in our existence where, like, it's hard to even describe. So many times we pass up the opportunity for greatness for the darker parts of life, I guess, if that makes any sense. And it has a real poetic bittersweetness to it. You know, and I would want my movie to reflect that, not only in the story, but in the layout as well. Like a lot of movies do with their scenery and stuff, you know, they'll put you in the moment, but then through the visual, you also get in the moment. Like in Unforgiven, I noticed last night, there was one part where Ned, played by Morgan Freeman, is talking to Clint Eastwood, and he's basically telling him that he doesn't want to do this, right? But then Morgan Freeman changes his mind, and he walks through the door to approach Clint Eastwood again. And when they do, though, they change the shot. They pan up, and they show the rifle above him, showing that he's stepping into that and everything. Long-winded answer there. Long-winded, my friend. What's this? I'm sorry, brother. JC, I totally missed you, man. Bubble was sitting down there and everything. Appreciate you, bro. Let me get you a heart and a like. Guys, let's get JC a heart and a like. Man, you have really become a supporter out here, my friend. I want to send you a t-shirt or something just to say thank you at some point. So JC threw in $20 for the cause, guys. Says the smaller guys are usually tougher because they actually have to fight. They can't just rely on their size. Yes, bro, I completely agree with that. And big guys, when they throw hands, they just throw hands. Little guys are about disassembling the target in front of them. People don't realize that human beings have a lot of vulnerabilities. Also, the little guy is normally faster. I'm not saying I haven't met some big guys that weren't dang fast, right? But yeah, no, I agree with everything that you just said. Yeah, because if you're gonna be a tough guy and you're gonna be a little bit littler than everybody, you're always gonna have to prove it. Now, I have noticed in my life, as I've gotten a little bit older, as I've gotten a little bit more experience, there are times where we don't have to, because of the intensity that we take into going to do it, right? And lots of times a big guy doesn't want to get his ass handed to him by a little guy, because that is going to affect the way that he's seen by the rest of the big guys, you know? Plus, it's like they say in jail, go take out the biggest guy you can find and you don't have to worry much more. I am not that guy. I preach against fighting. I preach about togetherness, friendliness, de-escalation, negotiation, the fact that we are all somebody's son or daughter, and that we could just get along. Like I was saying about movies, though, like The Unforgiven and the ones that really touch on human nature, lots of times those things do not work. And lots of times humans here choose the worst of outcomes. One thing I noticed in life also in that same vein, because I said I believe in peace. I would like everybody to have peace and not pieces. Lots of times when there are two factions fighting against each other and it's just about come down to time to throw, whichever side suggests peace, the other side believes it to be because of weakness rather than positive human nature and the desire to get along, right? But yeah, bro, I completely agree with you. Yeah. Also, it's good for a little guy not to run their mouth too much, I find in life, because nobody, like, I don't like it. I don't want to get my ass handed to me, right? But I will, right? So, like, it's not antagonizing. I try not to antagonize. Yeah. There's so many gang fighters out there nowadays too, but let's not get into that. You know, what is that movie, Hidalgo? Do you remember that? In Hidalgo, the guy goes, God did not make all men equal. Mr. Colt did. Michael says, good job, Houston. Excellent for Houston. All right. D-Dog. What up, D-Dog? D-Dog says, you ever get a blumpkin in the woods? You mean pumpkin, I think. No, I wouldn't even know where to look, to tell you the truth. iRaps one, cool name, bro. I'd like to hear some of your stuff if you were a rapper, man. I like some good rap every now and then. I feel that rap is one of the last musical careers or musical art form that hasn't really changed very much. Sometimes I listen to like the country music channel or something. Country music has turned into pop. Rock and roll has turned into something else. You know, everything is trying to imitate something else kind of, but I feel that rap is really the last one that holds to itself. I actually wrote a rap song when I was up on the mountain this last time. I should have written it down, but it was pretty good. You know, you'll never hear it, but I thought it was pretty good. So Rap says, the internet will be the end of us. Everyone just yapping to their phones. Yeah, I agree. And I think we use it as an echo chamber too. So many of us can just have our own opinion validated by others that think the exact same way. And then we think that we're exactly right. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it actually will. James Play, please hit the thumbs up. Appreciate you, James, for reminding everybody. Yeah, y'all guys have killed it this go around. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel so much. Roblox Squad, are you from Alaska show? Yes, a long time ago, my friend. Oh, Houston, I got 1 month sober. Good job, my friend. Right on. You are my hero. Good job. Thank you for being here and thank you for talking about it with us. Please come back and let us know how things are going. It's not always easy. I remember the first time I ever got my 1 month chip. Never thought it would happen. Definitely never thought that I'd ever get a 1 year chip or anything, you know. Man, you are doing it tonight. You're the hero. And at the beginning, at the 1, 2, 3 month phase, it's so difficult because there are so many false brain chemicals like THIQs and stuff that still have to burn out. Battery is low. I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry. Hostani, good job, my friend. You rock completely, and tonight you are my inspiration. Please, like I said, come back another time and let us know how you are doing, no matter what. It's not easy. I will say that, it feels like being beat up sometimes when we first start getting on the road to recovery, and there's a lot of hopefulness, and then when things fall through, which they do sometimes, there's going to be a lot of shame and guilt, etc. What I would say is if things fall through, if shit hits the fan for a minute, dude, don't give up on yourself. You've already built a lot in this time, right? And you're going to build more. You're going to keep going. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying that from my experience, if it does happen, it's okay. Pick yourself back up, start the count again, keep moving forward. Remember, you lose the days, you don't lose the experience. And you are encouraging someone else to change their life. Tonight, you have given me my power, and I appreciate you for that. You're my hero, all right? Guys, I gotta go. I don't like to burn this thing down past 20%, and I'm on a slow charge for some reason. Drop to the bottom. JC, thank you, brother. Right back at you, man. We got to stick together in this world, right? I really appreciate you. I appreciate all the bros out there. Of course, I appreciate all the ladies and everything, too. Y'all guys have made this channel, too. I'm just saying that, like they taught me in recovery, sometimes guys need guys and sometimes ladies need ladies, and an encouraging slap on the back, a salute from a bro out there really helps me sometimes, and I appreciate that so much. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do my thing, and y'all do your thing, and we'll get back together. I don't think I've got enough. I don't think I want to come back out tonight. I want to focus on that dang computer, all right? So probably won't see you again until tomorrow. So just fight the fight, guys. Don't succumb to fear. No fear, all right? Bye, guys. Bye, Cicely. Bye, Tammy. Bye, Wild Midge. Bye, Vote America. Are we? Yes, I'll see you later. All right, drop back in later. Bye, Dream, Joyce, Max Switch. Goodbye, guys. Never give up, never surrender. Piece of cake.